Well, boys and girls, children of all ages, fans of video games and fans of just actual common sense out there, ladies and gentlemen, we've all known that, well, the world is rather insane right now. And a lot of the screaming acolytes of the cult out there on social media are probably some of the most insane. If you've ever tried to have a conversation with these people and tried to have a reasonable and rational conversation with trying to give them good points about things to try to make fair assessments and maybe potentially change their mind or at least get them to look at things from a different perspective, well, you will find yourself more often than not nothing more than screamed at and called a bunch of slurs and called a bunch of crazy names and a bunch of other nonsense that really don't mean anything anymore because they use them constantly over and over and over again. But at some points, at some times, some of those little nut jobs, those little psychopaths out there take things a little too far. They go a little crazy because at some point, a lot of people have some people got a little too comfortable with being behind social media. You know, it came back to the point where there's a lot of people out there who we know these people wouldn't say these kind of things to your face, but because they're behind a screen or because they're behind an avatar, they don't use their real name. They're keyboard warriors is what we like to call them. But there's a certain point where the problem with that is when you go out there and say certain things, whether you mean them or not, whether you're intentional or not, because maybe you're not the craziest person out there, but there are other people out there probably even crazier than what you are, even though you are clearly showing that you are a complete and total psychopath as well. They will take things like what you say seriously, and they will act on them. And it is never a good thing, and it's a very dangerous thing. That's why threats like this, that's why comments like this, that's why things being said like this are taken very seriously and are considered a criminal offense and can actually have action taken against them by the court system, by the justice system. Now, as to whether or not, considering how corrupted our court system currently is right now, if that'll actually ever happen, we have no idea. But at the end of the day, this kind of nonsense has to be called out. This kind of stuff has to be stopped. This kind of stuff has to be, these people that put this kind of information out there and say these kind of things have to be shamed back into going back into their little holes and realize that they don't have the power that they once thought they did. That yes, we are now pushing back. We are winning the culture war. The pendulum is swinging back our way. And this is the time right now, while we have the momentum, while the wind is at our sails and at our backs, to drive forward, to put the pedal to the metal, to keep pushing back against these psychopaths and not allowing things like this to be said in good and polite, proper company. Because this kind of stuff cannot happen. Because like I said, there's crazy people out there who will actually act on this. So we're going to check out this article from That Park Place, check out and see exactly what Grums has been involved in right now, aka Mark Kern. And we're going to see and call these psychopaths out and make sure that everybody is very well of what they do. And maybe, just maybe, if some of this stuff gets enough traction, maybe somebody in authority will actually be forced to look into it. But I'm not going to hold my breath. But at the end of the day, you out there are the most important people to be convinced about the insanity of these psychopaths out there. So from shout out to That Park Place, evil individual places $20,000 bounty on Grums, aka Mark Kern, for beginning campaign to uncensor Steller Blade, which if you haven't already, make sure you go support and sign his little campaign out there. He's got a lovely little petition. It's pinned on Grums' social media account, on his X account out there. Go follow him over there and sign that petition. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, share it with all your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, or follow, depending on what platform you're on, and leave a comment down below. All of that stuff really helps out. Alrighty, so former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern had a bounty placed on his head after he launched a campaign to uncensor Steller Blade. Kern launched his campaign after the game's official... I'll leave that picture up there for you guys for a minute. Kern launched his campaign after the game's official account promised it would deliver the game uncensored. It wrote on X, Steller Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including the Japanese versions. As you can see, right here is what they put out there. A number of game outfits for the main protagonist, Eve, has been altered leading up to the official release of the game. Kern pointed out one writing. This is another confirmed outfit censor in Steller Blade. Original on left, and we're working on changing it back. It's not about the inches of fabric. It's about fighting the double standard and getting Steller Blade customers what was advertised. Exactly. And this is a lovely picture right here. If you want to, we can check it out over here. Where we got this one right here. You can see the actual picture. This is the original model, obviously, right? With the obviously nice little boob window right there. Lots of lovely, beautiful cleavage. And of course, now they censored it because I don't know why the bottom half is not okay, but the top half is okay. Like the double standards and the nonsense make no sense because these are the same people out there crying and screaming about this kind of stuff that are perfectly okay with actual physical relations, carnal relations happening on screen inside of games like Baldur's Gate. They have no problem with things like that. They will actually go blue in the face trying to justify that that's okay, but this isn't. And it does end up falling on deaf ears. Their arguments make no sense. If they didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. Like, this is just absolutely insane. So this is literally what he's trying to do. He's trying to ask for the company to do what they promised and not listen to all of these crazy psychopaths like the one we're about to talk about on the internet. That's just all it was. And guess what? Your sales will prove that. The more you listen to them, the more you fail. Look at a lot of these studio companies, a lot of these video game studios out there that have gone under now. I mean, Saints Row, anybody? How'd that remake go? Where's that studio out now? Oh, that's right. They don't exist anymore. Not only were a number of Eve's outfits altered, but the game also reduced its gore content. As shown by ex-user Mangaloyer, a pre-release of the version game shows Eve covered in blood, splattered after she kills a demonic creature, with a post-release version that shows the blood spatter significantly reduced. So obviously we can see this one over here as well. You can see it's like literally all over the place, whereas it's all over her chest, it's all down her legs and everything else. You can see it here. Now as versus the second one where she's much more cleaned up, not near as gory, and hell, even the blood splatter out of the character doesn't look near as much. Why this makes sense? If you're literally having this kind of gore, it literally doesn't make any sense from a storytelling perspective. So following these changes, Kern launched an 8-step campaign to get this game restored to its original version. He shared on X, the plan to get Stellar Blade, censor removed, condensed version of pinned tweet, context shift up offices, send a physical mail as that carries more weight in Asia, 14th floor, Apro Square, he gives their address, yada, yada, yada. He also encourages players to email ShiftUp at cs@shiftup.com.co.kr for players to cancel their PlayStation Network subscriptions and let PlayStation know about it using the free Stellar Blade hashtag. He also encourages gamers to sign a petition he created calling for the original to be restored. As of the writing, which as of the recording of this video, it's actually over 40,000 subscribers or 40,000 signatures already. I believe last time I looked at it was like 44,000 subscribers or something like that. So it has gone up drastically in the last few days since this original article was written. In the wake of announcing his 8-step plan and launching his petition, Kern has received a number of death threats. One individual has since deleted his account. Color us shocked there because he knew he screwed up. And guess what? This is what should happen. This is why I talk about calling these people out and shaming them. Because that is a win, boys and girls, when you get them to delete their social media account because of insane and psychopathic stuff like this. That is a win. Put a feather in your cap out there, ladies and gentlemen. Put a feather in your cap. One individual appeared to be put a bounty on Kern's head, $20K to anyone that makes this dipshit disappear. Kern reacted to the post. It says, now they want to hire hitmen to take me out. What did I tell everyone? They want you dead over game tweets. That is an absolute fact. The old method goes, push, what is it? It's nudge, push, shove, shoot. That's how the process goes. If they can convince you with a nudge, they'll push you into something. If they can't convince you with a push, they'll shove you across that line. And if you're still not willing to take it, well, I'm sorry, comrade. You're just not going to do well in this current society of our woke indoctrination camp. That's how it goes. That's the reality of this. That's the kind of demonic evil that we are dealing with out there in the world, boys and girls. And yes, it is demonic and it is evil. 100%. Hands down, full stop. No PS, no asterisk. This crap comes straight from the bowels of hell and Lucifer himself. I promise you that. Because at the end of the thing, they only want is everyone dead that doesn't agree with them. And that's all. Hell doesn't care which side wins. All they care about is the body count. I've had 4 to 5 calls of violence today alone because I am asking for Stellar Blade to be restored to what it was advertised. Hey, wait a minute. Isn't there a California law that you can actually sue companies for false advertising? I guess that's just movies. I guess they haven't added that to video games. Maybe they need to. Hey, also noted, this guy broke federal law and put a bounty on my head for tweeting about Stellar Blade. My take, those are rookie numbers. My favorite anime character is far more impressive. As you can see here from Grums, right over here. Where's this one at? Right here. 20,000. Grums is like, that's pathetic. My favorite anime hero's got literally a $60 million bounty on your head. Any of us out there that are fans of One Piece? Yeah, that bounty, that's rookie numbers. That's rookie numbers, man. Get on Luffy's level. Come on. What are you doing with your life? Let's be serious about this. So the bounty is clearly evil, and the individual doing it obviously has massive problems, as John Trank concludes, and he's absolutely right. We've been saying that right from the very beginning of this video. This is insane. These kind of people need to be called out for this. This stuff actually needs to be looked at. It needs to be investigated. And just like swatting is a major issue, stuff like this and calls of violence like this are never okay. They are never right from either side. It doesn't matter. No one should be ever be able calling any kind of physical or threatening any kind of physical violence against anyone simply over disagreeing on an opinion over a video game. That shows you how insane these people are. They are psychopaths that need to be shamed out of polite society and shoved back into the dark little corner of Tumblr that they all crawled out of. Because this kind of stuff is not okay. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be called out. And all of you out there need to go support Grums. And if you're even a slight fan of video games, go sign the petition. Go push back against the cult and make your voice heard. We will not tolerate this kind of nonsense in any way, shape, or form, and you will get called out for it. The pendulum has swung, and you don't control the narrative anymore.